So I think the start point I would take out of this is obviously, from our perspective, we're a cloud provider in the infrastructure as a service space, so clearly that's been one of the areas that we keep a pretty close watch on and see how Microsoft's developments and indeed partner attitudes towards cloud are moving and developing. So WPC acts as a very good pulse for us, frankly, of what the partner mood is, appetite, particularly in terms of cloud adoption and cloud acceleration in there. And I think certainly over the last year things have moved forward rapidly, and the messages now, particularly with the announcement around the Office 365 Open, that are very significant, I think, to the partner community, because that's been the one single point that has really prevented, I think, partners pushing this in a mass adoption way. So now that hurdle has been overcome, then I think that is going to be a very exciting space as far as 365 and the acceleration and the speed of adoption is concerned. Yeah. I think beyond that, just taking my cloud hat off for a second as well, just the sheer excitement and enthusiasm around Windows 8 and Server 12, there's some great stuff in there, really exciting stuff in there. So I think just to keep that impetus in the industry, the momentum, the excitement over new technologies and the development, those are the kind of things that drive both customers and the partner community forward and keep a level of invigoration and excitement within the industry, which is exactly what we need. So that's great. I have my Windows 8 on my beta. You'll be surprised to hear this on beta on my laptop at home already, and it's cool. It's a good product. So looking forward to seeing that develop. Well, license mobility. I'll let James touch on this one as well. But I mean, license mobility has certainly been a significant opportunity for us, which I think is not yet really been fully capitalised on. It's been a bit of a well-kept secret. We've seen a couple of customers go through that process with license mobility. For the customer, it's fantastic. It's kind of a no-brainer. So it's really important that customers become aware of it and take on, or at least ask the question of their reseller, what license mobility can mean. Because it's a transition to the cloud at effectively no additional cost. Whereas in the previous world, it was rebuy the licensing, and that doesn't sit too well with the customer, of course. It's not a smart investment. To maintain that, keep it going forward, that's a good thing.
Since the opportunities come about with license mobility, we've obviously been able to take those conversations further, and it does cover a number of workloads. It doesn't obviously cover all of them yet, but it allows us to actually take the conversation further and obviously close more business where that wasn't an inhibitor before. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think one of the things that we've been looking at doing more and more is, well, how do we accelerate cloud adoption ourselves, which is clearly a big priority for us as a business and indeed for Microsoft generally, and has been a feature of really every session that we've heard here, be those in the plenaries or indeed the smaller breakout sessions. So I think really to figure out the way that we can move that forward, we're thinking, okay, well, we need to offer clients more of a proof of concept kind of sandbox environment. So that's the kind of thing that we're now doing as a business, and saying, okay, for a free of charge test period, let's say, it could be a couple of months, 60 days, we'll give the clients use of some cloud-based server technology. Now, the SPLA licensing allows that at no charge. And then if that works, the customer gets it, they like it, the reseller is enabled to take that forward with them as well. And if the customer has all those SA, software assurance type of benefits through whatever licensing scheme, then that enables them to accelerate forward. So, we give the customer free test environment, SPA licensing allows that, very cool. And then you can go, okay, well, I've already got my SA, it's another SA benefit, moves forward, and then it becomes a live solution. And I think that's the kind of real mechanism that we need to see in place that will enable customers to benefit from the cloud, the partner community to go, I get it, I see the benefits of license mobility, and Microsoft, of course, to address the acceleration that we all want to see in the cloud environment.
But the opportunity with license mobility was that we were able to work with Holistic, educate them about what the program is, and therefore communicate that to the end customer, key point law, and say, we can migrate your infrastructure from on-premise to the cloud, and you can use your existing investment in your open subscription licensing in the cloud. It absolutely is paramount to cloud adoption, that people can use the license and investment that they already have in place, and we have other partners outside of Holistic that have benefited from the same program. So I personally, and what we're experiencing with our partners is, once they're educated about the process, it is relatively simple. It's a case of saying that investment you have in licenses with software assurance on-premise, you can reassign the use of those licenses to be used in the cloud on a partner-hosted platform such as Rise's, and it's literally that simple as reassigning the licenses of form. So there's very little hassle or effort on behalf of the partner or the end customer. Obviously the partner can take care of that. and we find it absolutely just enables adoption of cloud. License mobility was kind of built on top of a system Microsoft already had in place, which allowed migration of licenses between different infrastructure on-premise. So moving it from infrastructure on-premise and using the license assignment to infrastructure that's in the cloud, that can go back just the same as it does coming to the cloud. So the customer doesn't need to feel like they're locked in to a cloud platform as such.
But I think, let me be very clear on license mobility. It's not just about driving revenues for Microsoft or indeed for the partner community. I think there are a couple of key points that license mobility addresses as well, which work specifically for the customer, also for Microsoft, and also for the partner community as well. And I think they cover really all three of those areas. The first one is around deployment. That's a key agenda driver for all of the organizations. So certainly for the customer, if you're not deploying the stuff, you're not going to take best advantage of the agreement you've got in place and the investment that's already been made there. So deployment is key. Now, license mobility will accelerate that deployment because it's getting licenses that maybe haven't been used, you've got software assurance for them in some way, help the customer deploy that technology as well. And the second point that's key there is renewals. So as far as enterprise agreement renewals and so forth are concerned, any of those types of agreements, this will help drive that renewal process as well, because customers are getting value, greater value, out of the technology they purchase. So those are the two key things that license mobility will drive, apart from the third and obvious one, which is pure cloud adoption.